Don't worry about it.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Braxton. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's get started. Thank you everybody for coming. Today we have a special guest. We have Ray Murao all the way from Canada joining us. Just a little introduction for him. So he's the head instructor of the Steveston Kendo Club up in Canada. They're the host of the annual Steveston tournament that many of us have gone to. And prior to that, he's been a part of many world tournaments. He's 7-time competitor at the world tournament.
Wow.
5-time coach and 2-time manager. And so a total of 14 world tournaments that he's been a part of. And for those of you who are keeping track, we've only had 17. Clearly,
It's amazing.
the very beginning. And I think we have a lot to learn from him. So I'll pass the floor off to Murao Sensei, and then we can get started.
14 out of 17. It just means I'm old. Anyways, thank you, everybody. What's going on? I see a guy with a dog. Who's that?
That's like our Bryce.
Oh, okay. Anyways, thank you to Sensei and all of you for allowing me to be here and talking to all you guys. It's, I've been watching your weekly practices from afar, and I'm really, really impressed with how Tony Sensei is running it and Guden Sensei is running it. There's a lot of good stuff there. So look at all the people. Anyways, I'd like to bring in one of my students, Mr. Ed Han. He's my computer guy, so he's going to be running a short exercise in a few minutes after my little talk here. Last month, I guess, July, the CKR Federation ran a nationwide seminar at about 7 or 8 senses from across the country, and they each gave presentations on basics, on Subudhi, on mental workouts, all different things. Really, really a very good seminar, and I thought I would pass on a few of those along with a few of my own thoughts. There's trying to do everything in this short hour is you're not going to get everything, obviously. So I'll do what I can. I see that there are a lot of, you've got a huge range from beginners to kids that I know that and seniors that have Bogu for not a very long time to the advanced. So I put together something that, I'm hoping that it can get to everybody. So, so that nobody's missing out kind of thing. So let's start with the beginners. We'll get Ed to do just a quick warm up, just so that everybody got oiled up here.
Hello everybody, welcome to Steveston Dojo. I'm going to be starting off with just some basic warm-up exercises that you normally do in the dojo. I'm going to walk back and forth and I'll describe what I'm doing. So, Yoshimaz, feel free to join me. If not, you can just watch me sweat. So the first thing we're going to do is just jump up and down and then up to 8. 始め 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, touch, and then deep knee bends, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then we're going to rotate our knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, touch, and then just stretch out, 1, 2, 3, go, hitch, touch. On the other side, hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, hitch, touch. And just twist back and forth, just to flex your spine a bit. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, hitch, touch. And just rotate your hips. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, hitch, touch. And then just put your arms out, and we're just gonna flex our fingers and open up our palms. We'll do 5 downwards, and then we'll turn it the other way up. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch, 2, do. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch, 2, do. We're gonna stretch out our necks, and we're just gonna nod up and down. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. And then side to side. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. And then just rotate our necks. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. And then let's stretch out our Achilles. So keep your back leg straight and bend your front leg and stretch the calf and your Achilles. Okay? Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. Switch your right leg, stretch that out. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. Once again, the left leg. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. And the right leg again. Hitch, knee, sun, chi, go, rooks, hitch, touch. And thank you very much.
All right. Nice and quick, just the way I like it. Eh? Okay, so the first part, as I said, is for the kids or beginners. And I'm sure you've heard your senseis tell you so many times about the placement of your shinai or hands on your shinai. So, but before we get there, let's just start with what we want to see is the V here on top, okay, on top. So what I'd like to see you do is, get your elbows against your side. Don't have any gaps in here. Hands in front, and just sort of look down and see that both your hands are moving and the V is moving up and down, okay? Kids, all you kids, I want to see all you kids doing this, come on, all right? Okay, don't use your arms, just your hands, yeah. Okay, so if you have your shinai, okay, so number one, we want to see that the shinai come inside, right in here, right? Right in here. And so on an angle, so we have your hands, you got here, here. So as you can see, from here, you can see the V is on top, okay? So, and we don't want to hold it with everybody. A lot of people say that you have to have your right left hand very strong because that's your power hand and you don't do much with your right hand. But we find that, I find that about 95% of everybody is right-handed. So when they swing, they're going to have a tendency to use this hand first. So how you use this hand is so important, right? So we want both hands to work together. Okay, both hands to work together. Okay. So now when we're swinging, we want to start with this hand, but we need to understand that because we're strong in this hand, that we have a tendency to lift with this side. We try to lift with the left up, make sure that the right hand is touching nicely, lift it up and over. And then it's coming down once again with the left hand. Okay? The right hand is so important mentally for a lot of people, for the kids especially. The right hand is what they use everybody stood up. Coming up here, right? So very important. Left hand, and right hand is important to keep everything nice and straight. Okay? Everything nice and straight. All right, so where are we at here? Okay. So the other part, when we're striking now, for kids, when we're striking, because your right hand is so dominant, when you strike, a lot of kids will bring this left hand in. So you can see there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension here. Your arms are gonna get, your shoulders are gonna get sore. So for a lot of the kids, when the senseis tell them to do 30, 40, 50 men, they get tired. Right? And the reason they get tired is because there's so much effort and so much tension from the shoulders. Okay, so very important. Keep everything together. Left hand is good. Left hand brings it up. Left hand brings it down. Left hand brings it up. You shouldn't feel any kind of tension in your ear. Left hand brings it down. You shouldn't feel any kind of tension here. All right? So once you keep this up, you'll find that you can do 30, 40, 50. And if your sensei tells you to do 100 kids, you can do 100 because you won't feel so tight. Up, up, right? Up. Good. All right, so knowing that, let's go with, we're going to do an exercise here. So all we want you to do is from here, we're going to go up. Okay. So remember when we were doing our hand, we had our hands touching our sides. We want to keep that very close. Okay, I know some senses like your elbows way out, stretching your chest, and that's fine. But what I find is that once I get my elbows out wide, look where the direction of my shinai is. My direction of my shinai is way off to the side. Okay, so keep it up and keep it out. Up. Okay, so let's do 10 of those. Okay. Nice and easy. 10 of those. Okay. Back. Up. Back. Up. Back. Up. Back. Up. Back. Up. Back. Anyways, good. So, if you notice, as long as you're using your left hand, as long as you're using your left hand out here, you won't find so much tension here. One tip for the people that are in movement and actually those that are actually going into the class, very important that this right hand, you have a little bit of a flex, you have a little bit of a bend here. Okay? Right. some of the kids and some of the one of the Bogu will have this very tight because they sense this time it has to be sort of straight. Very important for me to make any kind of consecutive hits to have a little bit of bend here so that it's not tight and pinched, so that everything then tight. It ends up being an arm hit, not a wrist hit. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the next one, we're going to do a Hayasuguri. Okay, Hayasuguri, you see from here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so, but on one step, on this Hayasuguri, we're doing one step at a time. So when I say each, we're going to go up, 1, and hold it here. Knee, up, 2. Down, up, 3. Okay? So we're going to do 10 of those. All right? 10 of those. Everybody. Okay? Each. Okay? Knee. Down. Shake. Go. Look. Shake. Touch. Scoop. Shoot. Okay, so very good. So each time for Sensei, if you get your kids to do this, on each step, number 1, we want to make sure you watch them, make sure the shinai is really pointing out. Okay, a lot of times kids take the shortcut and they're up here. Okay, so kids, you got to get it all the way out. Right? Other part, feet wise, make sure both feet touch, both feet touch. Okay? Footwork is very, very important here. So if you don't do your footwork now, as you get older and older, you get better, that footwork's gonna need to be there. Okay, so for you guys, the kids, beginners, let's finish off with 30 Hayasuguri. Okay, ready? 30 Hayasuguri. Ready? Just keep going back and forth. Ready? Good. Each, knee, down, cheek, go, look, each, touch, 2, you, each, knee, down, cheek, go, look, each, touch, 2, you, each, knee, down, cheek, go, look, each, touch, 2, 2. All right, good. So, for the beginners, we're going to go on to the next group, but I want you to keep doing what we just did, and we want you to do more of the next portion and even try some of the events. All right, okay, so at this level, as much as all this is important, it's your feet. Your feet have to move. At this level, your feet needs to be going, moving your body. Right? So a lot of people start getting each one wanting to do quick hits, but they're out here and the feet are way back here. So it's very important that at this level, to proceed better, you need to get your feet moving. Okay, so the first one I want you to do is, I've seen Sensei do it, and it's one I've seen when we were in Japan. They do it the whole length of the gym, but here I know some of you are at homes, so we want you to go 1 step, 2 step, side, side, one step, two step. Okay, when you get to here, we want you to pivot. Okay, so you see the pivot now. When we pivot our feet, we want to stop on your right foot, pivot on your right foot.
Okay.
Okay? So none of this side, 3 or 4 or 5 step kind of thing. Right? 1, 2, up, pivot, ready to go. Ready to go. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to do, let's see. We'll just do 10 of these. I know some of you are on the driveway, so don't scratch up your feet. Okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, side, side, 1, 2, turn. 1, 2, side, side, 1, 2, turn. Okay? Try not to get up in the air. Once again, plant that right foot, turn. Okay? Plant that right foot, turn. And once that left foot touches, you should be ready to go forward again. Okay? All right, let's try it again. All right. Okay, so 2 steps, side, side, 2 steps, turn. All right, here we go. 1, 2, side, side, 1, 2, turn. Okay, good. Now, I'm watching a few of you. The turn is good. What you're doing with your shin. Okay? So, when some of you are turning, the shin starts coming up. Up. You turn. Okay? When you turn, the shin should be at the same level. Level. 1, 2, level. If you're up here and the guy's coming, you can get hit. If you turn quickly, and she has here, you're dead with this, ready to hit. Okay? So, now, I think everybody's got the general idea of that one. We're going to do the opposite way. Okay? 1, 2, backwards, side, side, 1, 2, right? Turn. Okay? All right, so let's go do 2 of those. We're going forward and then going backwards. All right? So 1, 2, side, side, 1, 2, turn. Okay, 1, 2, side, side, 1, 2, turn. Okay, so once again, very important to know where your shinada is at that point. All right? Okay, so that's all about your footwork. Footwork, side motion, forward motion. It's all about having it ready to attack. Shinada out here, no good. Always have that shinada ready. If you're ready, your shinada needs to be ready. Okay, so the next one I want to do for this group is just working on your wrist a little bit. So, maybe can you have a shinada? And I'm sure you guys, a lot of you have done this exercise, so, okay? So once again, and for kids, we don't want to see, this is where we don't want to, I guess it's okay for beginners to practice it up and down over their head. Okay? For advanced, and this group that we're talking about now, the kids with Bogu, we want to see much more. You know, none of my arms from that forearm, elbow back, is moving. It's just the wrists that are moving, right? Okay. Right. Okay, so I want you to do 10 of those. Stop, take a couple second breather, and then do another 10. Okay? So on your own time, on your own time. If you don't have anybody, that's okay. You can sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And then stop. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Okay, here we go. On your own time, remember? Good. Okay, so for the kids, you want to go fast. This is where your left hand comes into play and your right hand. Going up and down, but not overextending. Right? Letting this left hand come over your right is no good. So we want to keep your left hand down always from here to here. Right? From your left pinky to your right, to your left pointing finger up. Your left pointing finger is bringing it up, right? And your left pinky is going down. Right? Okay, so let's do the same thing, but going for hitting for men. Okay, so up here, right? So up, right? So we're gonna go small. We're gonna go small here. Okay? So once again, you don't see my shoulders moving. For kids, for beginners, very important. Yes, this is where you have to start with the basics. For everybody else, guys, especially, we want to do. All right, so let's do 10 of those, and I got to pick a guy with a dog. Okay, so let's do 10 of those and then stop and then we'll relax for a second. Right? Like that. Okay, so the next portion here. What some of the senses try to say, I want you to hit a small men. Small men, small men. So we know what a big man is, right? Big up, making sure. So from a Shiite standpoint, a lot of senses say we want you to hit a small man. So from here, a lot of people will just push off and reach out. Push off and reach out. What we don't see is a good sound, a good pop on the head. So everybody sort of touching it, right? For Shia, if you want to get a good point off of this small man, we have to consider it more of a quick man. So we have the sound of a good man up here. So we want to try, we need to try to make the same sound, make the same kind of pop, right? So that means going up and getting it up, almost like degrees, you know. Okay? So we have to call it more of a quickness because it's the quickness from here to here, not the quickness from here to here, because this only makes it this time. The quickness needs to be from here to here. Okay? That's the first part. The second part is because you're going a little bit bigger, you need your body to your feet to get your move your body into the head. So from here up. Okay? So left hand, right hand. Okay, so here what we need to see is Left hand dropping, right hand extending. Left hand dropping, right hand extending. Okay, so this is where you'll get your quick, nice and quick. Left hand, right hand. Left hand, right hand. Okay, left hand, right hand. Okay, so that's the head. Everything else is your feet, your body, moving your body. Okay, so go with that. So once again, going from here, right? Moving your body. Okay, so let's get everybody to do 10 of those, please. Okay, 10 of those. So those, obviously, some of you don't have somebody in front of you. Imagine there's somebody there. Imagination is very, very important when you're alone, right? Imagine and swing out. Make sure you get move your body. Yeah, oh, sorry, before you go from there, one other thing we want you to do, go back up. When talking about moving your body, is we don't finish here. This isn't the finish, right? We don't want body bobbing up and down. The finish is when you go past and you turn, right? So up. Okay. So that's where that pivot comes into play. Okay. So turn. Okay? That's where that pivot comes in. So the finish is when you get through quickly, solidly, and you pivot and you're ready for whatever comes after that. All right, so let's do 10 of those. Okay? All right. On your own pace, please. Those on your own pace.
Come on, Ryder and Lander, let's hit men.
Good job, boss. Okay, so good. So the last one, which sort of goes into the advanced group, is a quick kote men. Quick kote men in school, mister. So, kote, once again, a lot of people, kids, people with kids who are over under 5 years, because they're right-handed, have a tendency to start with this hand. So, kote, men. Okay? A quick kote men, you drop the left hand, okay, and then same thing. So dropping the left hand, going forward with the right. Now when you hit this with it, you want to be able to, you don't want to power it down, because kote doesn't mean nothing in the man is what you want to hit. Okay? So when you hit this with it, left down, you want to hit that and have a nice bounce up. Not bouncing up from the fact that you're bringing it up, but a bounce from when you go to stop it. Right here, when you go to stop it, it'll bounce up by itself. Okay? So from here, it'll bounce up by itself. From here, just reach forward. Okay? no lifting it up and down. It's just from here, dropping the lift. Okay. Dropping the lift. Having the shinai bounce up. Okay. So if you can, try it. So when you're doing it on your own, once again, dropping the left, hitting the kote, see that the tip is up high, reach out. Okay, once you hit this kote and that shinai is up there, there's no reason for you to bring it up anymore. Right? Here, we're in a position of that quick small thing. Okay? So when we're doing it from here, dropping, 1, 2. Okay? So what makes this event complete is your feet, your footwork. So we don't need to get deep for kote because men is the ultimate men. So we want to just small, very small here. Okay? And then finish with the right. We don't want to see this where there's a big distance in the gap in here because now it's going to take time to get this foot up. And then everything is much quicker. Right? From here. 1. Okay. Bring your lift up quickly. Drop the shinai. 1. All right, let's try that. 10 of those, please, on your own time.
Hey, Kawa boys, let's hit kote men. Rider, lander.
Roxy, how am I doing?
Good, good.
Okay. I am at. Okay, so the last group, morally advanced people like Granny, Sensei, all of you that are going into the worlds, which are unfortunately postponed, but Shias. At this level, the most important thing is how well you mentally focus. Some of you are very strong mentally, and your focus is great. One of the best people that I knew was Fukutomi Sensei's Paul in the Army. Amazingly strong. Didn't matter who was in front of him. His focus was right there all the time. So he and I used to have some good battles because we'd be going at it back and forth, back and forth. So when we talk about mental focus, It's even the little things. Making a hit and being lazy with it opens up points for the other person. Okay, so the best example of this that I can see is when you're going for kote. You're in here, and you go, and then all of a sudden, because you're not focused, you stop. What happens? Then the showman comes around and boom, you're left. Then you're down a point, right? So with focus mentally, you can very easily hit this, see this coming, boom, block this, right? And then get this resilience. Okay, so it's very, very important that you're focused mentally from hajime to shobori, start to finish. That hit can come from anyone, anywhere, everywhere. Right? So it's very important that you're in here. You can always hit. So one of the things that what I like to call it is, well, explain what it is, action and reaction. You make an action, there's going to be a reaction, right? Even from here, even a little simple thing from here, just pushing down. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but from here, just pushing down. This is your action. Reaction is here or nothing at all. And so mentally focusing, if it's nothing at all, you keep going. If it's pushing back, action, reaction. Okay? So action, reaction, it just keeps going back and forth from your action to their reaction, then it turns into your reaction, right? It goes, just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. And it's very important that mental focus allows you to see it, allows you to go back and forth. So ultimately, to make it easier, I like to tell my students, always try to get one more than the other person. Right? One more than the other person. So if we go from here, and he comes in, I come in, we should stop here. That's the second hit. That's where the pivot comes in. That's the second hit. So he's only hit one. He's felt he's lost his focus. He's felt okay. I'm done. I'm easy. We're not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything. Turn around. I'm already on top of it. Right? That's the hitting one more than the other person. That keeps you mentally focused on top of the game all the time. All the time. So, there's one other one I was going to do here. Yeah. So the other one that's always a balance from here, you hit Hikimen, boom, right? And then you come out here and you think nothing's going to happen. Well, this guy's coming. Right? This is where, once again, hitting one more than the other person. So you hit this, you come back, as he comes, you hit that pin, or you hit that goal. But that also means your feet have to be in a strong position. So any kind of hikiwaza, when we're trying to hikiwaza is any kind of hit, you need to get back. So the next step that you take is going forward. You've got your spacing, okay, from here, you've done your hikiwaza, your hikiman, hiki-go, whatever. Quickly get out so that when he starts to move, you shouldn't be in a position where all you have to do is reach out and touch it. you have to be in a position where from here quickly get out. So he has to take a step to touch you. And when he takes that step, you should be ready to go. You should be ready to go home, not keep going backwards. The ones that are getting hit here are getting from here, getting to here, and they're stuck this way. So the only thing you can do is at the very least block. Okay, so you need to get out quickly, be able to stop, and then be able to go back in. Okay, all right. So the last one, I wanted to, it's a hard one to explain, and I want somebody's thought on this. Randy, where are you? Randy, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, question. What do you think, what do you feel about cement? What do you think, cement?
My thoughts on semi?
Yeah, what do you think you have to do for cement?
For semi, I feel you have to break the opponent's concentration mentally and move that Kensen off of the center line.
Okay,
As
and
being,
how do you do that? Or how would you try to do that?
using my Kensaki to take center, or using my pressure forward to get a reaction.
That's correct. For the most part, that's correct. The problem, and like I'm no expert at cement, let me tell you, my forte is much more of a defensive, pick them off kind of thing. But the problem with what you just said is that your focus, okay, my sensei says I need to send him more. I'm gonna pressure, I'm gonna move him around, and I'm gonna get him to move and or do something that he's not going to want to do. The problem with that is that as you're focused on doing this, your opponent may already be coming at you, right? You can sit there and be, okay, I'm going to move in, is, make him do something he doesn't want to do. And at this point in time, he might just boom, pop you in the head. Because your focus is on this cement, or what your thought or your explanation of cement should be on what you need to do. Right? Cement, you're correct, Randy, you're correct on what you're saying. But you also have to be aware of what this person's doing. Right? And if he doesn't come, if you feel that he's not much, right? If you feel that he's sitting on you waiting, then that's when the fake's coming in. Here, you've done that. Cool. But cement part it's a very, very difficult. Every sensei will give you different definitions, different answers. For the best thing that I can tell all of you from a cement standpoint, if you're doing it, if you're trying it, you gotta be aware of what's in front of you, what that person is doing. You gotta be aware. Everything should be tingling, ready to fire off all your whole body, your feet, your toes, your arms. Everything should be ready to fire off, so that if you get to a certain spot, right? If you get to a certain, but if you get to a certain spot, you're doing here somewhere, and you don't win, you can hit this. Because you're not, this is part of the man, right? I got him to go man, obviously. But there are times when you try to get a little bit closer, that guy's not doing what you want to do, so you're trying to get a little bit closer, all of a sudden, bang, he hits you. Right? So, very good. Well, I know I talk fast and I did a lot of different things, and I'm sure I confused a whole lot of people, but there's, you know, from the time that you start as a kid or a beginner, as you go up the ladder, there are certain areas that are very important. Like as a kid, obviously the basics. When you get into the next group, the footwork. The footwork carries your body, and so that when you're an advanced person, your body's moving, your body's constantly moving. You're ready to move. And then finally, obviously, when you get to advance, when you get to that area of where Tomi Sensei, Randy, Chris, everybody are trying for that world championships, is you're ready to take on everybody. Part of you has to be hockey. I guess if I would say, you know, part of you has to be confident to the point where I can sit there and I'm going, he's way better than me, but I know I can beat him. I will do this, this, and this to beat him. You know, and I'll give you one example. In 1988, we were playing the Japanese team, and I had to fight Nishikawa Sensei. He was a two-time All-Japan champion. And, you know, all my teammates were losing badly, and I went up there and I said, well, you know, I may not win, but I'm not going to lose. And I sat there and I did bob and weave and in and out, hit, turn, push, everything. And he got so frustrated that out of the blue, he tried to Tsukiyo so bad, and I popped him in the net and I beat him 1-0. And everybody was just shocked, right? But it's a matter of saying, knowing what you can do and applying it to what you should be doing. So, you know, it doesn't work all the time, obviously, but you have to start somewhere, and that's confidence in yourself. You have to start with that, and then go from there. Okay, well, so I think my hour is up, and so thank you very much for having me. Once again, I'm sure I jabbered on quite a bit, so my apologies for that. And hopefully I was able to show a couple of things here and there that you can pick out, and hopefully it helps you. Okay.
And
Thanks, Brett.
before we end though, if anybody has any questions for Murao Sensei, speak now.
I'm not a good answer of questions.
They don't have any questions.
You're also confused. You don't know what to ask.
I have a question. You're bringing up the confidence part.
Yes.
How would you recommend building up that confidence, especially, you know, for people going to the world tournament who maybe haven't gone before?
Right. So, you know, there's always that difference between confidence and cocky, right? Cocky, you see somebody, you're a Rokudan, and that guy in front of you is a Nondan. That's where the focus starts to lack, right? So when you're that first time going into the world, you have to be confident in you yourself, your ability, the things that you have done to prepare to get there, right? So if you work hard, you work on your footwork, and you work on your waza, you know, and as long as you focus on that action reaction, like getting that second hit in all the time, your confidence in yourself will be right up there. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Don't be afraid. Once you are afraid, you're gonna be doing backpedaling everywhere. You know, you have to be able to. If you're not 100% sure of the person, go into Tubazili. Don't sit there and go back. Don't be doing this. Go into supervision, give him a little bit of a push once in a while. And then, so that confidence is very, very important.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
Hi. I know you talked about
Wave your hand.
sorry. I know you talked about awareness of your opponent. Even though we're in quarantine right now and we don't really have as many opportunities to fight with another person, is there any way that we can build our awareness of the opponent's action?
You gotta have a strong imagination. No, what you build is repetition, right? So when you're by yourself, you sit there and you hit men, you go for men, you don't stop there. You imagine this person, you hit men and this person's come up and try to hit, get you into Tsubazeria. While you hit this man, this person comes up. You imagine swinging this person around, hitting him, right? These are things that you can do on your own, right? Imagining doing this man, getting up in here, swinging him around, go back. Okay? A lot of the imagination part comes from probably Hiki men more than anything else. So you're in here, right? You hit this Hiki man, as I mentioned before, get back quick. Imagine that the guy just starting to come, and when you stop, bang, be ready to hit forward. So come in here, Hiki man, back, stop, back in man. So one of the things on that particular one is when you hit something and you Hiki man back, if your shinai is a little bit lower, the person, all this person sees is going for man. As you're going back, all this person sees is going man. If you're in a good position, stop position, that man, you can hit kote, you can hit do, you can hit lots of them. This person is just, from a reaction standpoint, he's just going to hit man. Okay? So imagine those kind of in repetition. It doesn't have to be quick, but it has to be repetition. So that when that time does come, you're going to get back there and you're going to go forward. All right?
Thank you.
Anyone else with any other questions?
Oh, Garrett.
Sensei, oh,
Well, thank you, Murao Sensei, for hosting today and helping us out. But one of the questions I have is, as you've been so many to worlds and coach and everything like that, outside of you have top players all coming together
Right.
as a team for Canada. What kind of cohesiveness or being able to get everyone on the same page and working together as a team did you guys do throughout the years?
Well, I don't know what other coaches have done, but for myself, when I was coaching, my first rule is having one-on-one discussions with each of my players. Once I pick my 10 players or whatever, and we talk about what it is I expect from them and what it is that, that they need, that position that I would think that they would be good at. And lastly, that, my talk would be about, it's not about you, it's about us, right? It's not, and that goes for myself also. When I'm doing all this, I tell them, it's not about me standing here and giving you orders. I will, if I have to, do it right beside you if I need to, right? But the most important thing is that when, aside from my one-on-one talks, when we get together, I show that it's all about us. When we go to eat, I make sure everybody's sitting down. Everybody's got their food before we all start eating. You know, it's showing that from a coach's point, it's showing that cohesiveness of us as a team, not individual standouts. You're going to have individual people that are really good. Does that mean that they get better treatment? No. I expect them to toe the line as much as what we think is the lower person. As long as you're on the team together, you are together. And there's no differentiating from the top guy to the bottom guy. Okay?
Thank you.
Desmond.
Yes, Sensei. Do you have any tips or strategies when you figure out within maybe the first 30 seconds that there's your opponent is clearly faster than you? Do you have any, like, do you stay farther out or do you get closer to them, generally speaking, if you figure that out immediately?
Well, yeah, within the first minute, you should know what kind of person you have in front of you, right? I mean, you've done enough shed yourself, you know that, right? So if the guy is clearly faster than me, I'm going to do something to slow him down as much as I can. Throw off that timing. If you go backwards, his momentum is always going to be forward. His momentum is always going to be forward, and he's always going to have the chances to hit you, right? So I would go in, do some subazediai, and then the next time I would sit there and I would go take a step in, take a step out. You know, try to throw the timing off of everything. And that's essentially what I did with Ishikawa Sensei. A couple of times when he's trying to build himself up, I just attack out of the blue. Making sure I was attacking, knowing that this guy was better than me, I was attacking defense first, right? Attacking, but not making sure that I don't get hit. And then I'd be like this, and then, you know, the chimpan will separate you. And then the next time I'll be taking a step in, and he's ready for thinking I'm attacking, and then I'll take a step back, 2 or 3 steps back. And then I'd be back in here, and then I start coming back in again. And then out of the blue, you know, and I'll be like this, and all of a sudden I'll throw back in. But it's throwing off the timing of what that person is doing. Speed, doing this back and forth. He's not sure when you're coming anymore.
Right.
He's not sure. So if you go wait, but if you do the same thing all the time, then a person like that will key on it, and eventually he'll catch up to you on that one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, any last questions?
You're smiling. What's the matter?
Hi, Sensei.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for your explanations. I was wondering, what do you think is the best conditioning during quarantine?
Best conditioning.
Yeah, best conditioning.
You're talking to the wrong guy. My iPad, laying on the couch, and playing my game.
That's how
If I was 30 years younger, I would probably, I'm not sure how much, in Hawaii, but here the thing isn't so bad that we can't go for walks. Go for walks. I hate running, so I'm not going to run, but I'd go for walks, and I'd go and shuffle my feet a little bit, and do the things that you feel that you like to do. I don't like to do any of that stuff, so I really don't right now at this point in time do anything. but what do you like to do from a conditioning?
I do hayasaburi.
Yeah.
Or I like to run.
Yeah. So one thing I didn't bring up today and is when you're doing hayasaburi, when you're doing a lot of men, like repetition, and you're doing 100, or some people are out there doing 500. There's no sense doing that if you're not doing it properly or with quality. Right? You're better off doing 50 nice men's than 150 just going like crazy. Right? Now, that being said, from a conditioning standpoint, I would, if you can, just go the best you can and get it as quick as you can. 50, stop for 10 seconds, get up, 50 more, but nice, big motions, none of these, and making sure your feet are going back and forth. So that's the highest moving part. The other part, if you like running, great. I'm not coming with you. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Does that
thank
make
you.
Okay. Perfect. Kids, how did the kids like it today? I'm sure they didn't understand what's going on.
Kenton's giving a thumbs up.
Yeah? Oh, good.
All right. Well, thank you, Murao Sensei, for joining us today. I know you. Oh, Bryce gave a thumbs up too.
Oh, very good.
I know there's a lot to talk about. We have a wide range of skill level, but
Oh, yeah. Everywhere. The part is you all like Kendo as much as, as the people here in Vancouver, Season, and you're all doing your Zoom, and that's great. And that's the one thing. Keep it up. You guys have, whether you're a kid, whether you're an adult, beginner, advanced, you guys have this commonality of Kendo. Use that, to keep together, be friends. I know with our group, our guys, they get on Zoom just to, just the kids get on Zoom just to talk and play games or something. I don't know what they're doing. But, that's that commonality that you don't have if you were just off on your own. So this is what all of you have in common. Be together, use it, and that's what you have. So it's great. Thank you very much.
all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Murao Sensei.
All right.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good seeing you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. 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 Bye.
Okay.
You got Shochan to practice.
That was the first time I did any Kendo anything since I got hurt.
You have to get a Swiffer or something.
I got a Swiffer stick. This is my shenanigan. That's all I got.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Murao Sensei. Good to see you.
Good to see all of you. Okay, guys, be safe now. All right.
Yeah, hopefully we can make it up to Canada again someday.
We're working for a bit yet, but sooner or later,
Someday.
definitely one time. All right, take care.
All right, take care. Aloha.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And Shochan made it.
Leave meeting.
Huh?
You made it without getting hurt.
I know. Felt better than I thought. Yeah, that's Neil. Thank you.